Welcome into episode number 159 of The Voice Behind the Voice. I'm Sean Aronson, the TV and radio broadcaster for the St. Paul Saints, an independent minor league baseball team in the Twin Cities. All right, this is the self-aggrandizing moment, if you will, for me. Today, Monday, May 13th, and I record these mostly on Mondays, I turn 42 years of age, which I would like to think I look pretty good for 42 years of age. But, you know, you get all these phone calls and messages and everything on your birthday and people asking you, what are you going to do? What are you doing today? Have any big plans? When you work in the world of baseball and your birthday falls somewhere within that May, June, July, August, September timeframe, it's like every other holiday within that summer timeframe. It almost means next to nothing. Like 4th of July. 4th of July this year, I'll be in Winnipeg. Now, I love Winnipeg. It's beautiful. The city's great. But 4th of July, to be honest, doesn't mean anything to them, right? Memorial Day, Labor Day, when people have days off, we're playing games. So the holidays, and I'm sure it's the same for the hockey guys and the basketball guys, and I talk to them all the time about this, around Christmas and New Year's and Thanksgiving. And I know those leagues have done a better job in trying to make sure that there aren't games on those days. Of course, Thanksgiving with football and Christmas, the NBA, but they try to do as best they can to give most of the teams off. But the holidays, or birthdays in this case, just don't mean as much anymore because you're not going out, you're not celebrating. We have an exhibition game tonight. I literally will be at the ballpark got here at 8:30 and won't leave until 10:30 or so tonight. So that's really what my day is going to be. It's just another day, and I turn a year older. So, and at some point too, right? You don't want anything. Like, people ask, "What do you want for?" I don't want anything unless it's like a big ticketed item. I don't really need much. You have everything, but there gets to a point in your life where for holidays and birthdays, I never know anymore what I want. But I guess what I would like is for you to tune into this episode. I guess if you're listening to the open, that means that you are tuning into this episode, unless you just listen to these opens and then shut it off at that point, which really would seem bizarre and kind of defeat the purpose of subscribing to this podcast. But it is episode number 159 with Tom McGinnis of the Philadelphia 76ers. I genuinely feel bad for this guy. Like, my heart breaks for this guy. It's funny because I told JW that this was going to be the episode, I think Saturday or so. I sent him the tease for this episode, and he said, boy, I hope they win on Sunday. It'll make it a better story and maybe a better podcast, but it maybe makes it a better podcast in the way the Sixers lost yesterday with the Kawhi Leonard last-second shot that bounced around, 3 times before it fell through the hoop. So I genuinely feel bad for Tom McGinnis today, having to watch that moment, broadcast that moment. That had to be pretty painful, especially with the high hopes that the Sixers had. I don't mean to harp on this, but as a broadcaster, man, I can't even imagine what that would feel like to lose in that fashion. Of course, we lost a championship series a year ago, but not nearly in that sort of dramatic fashion. But I'll say this about Tom. We met at the hotel where the team stayed at. He is a very, very good storyteller. I mean, he really was willing to go in depth with a lot of different things that I brought up. And I always like when I can just sort of ask a question and sit back and let a guy, you can almost see the wheels and the gears churning in their head as if it's bringing them back to that moment, that they haven't thought about this moment in a long time. And those thoughts and those memories are becoming clearer and clearer. So again, I think you'll love the in-depth talk that Tom was able to provide here. By the way, this will also be the last podcast that I'll have before the baseball season starts. We start officially on Thursday, so when I talk to you next week, we'll already be 4 games into the 2019 baseball season. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, you can do so iTunes or wherever you get your podcast. Again, be sure to rate it. You can follow us on social media, Twitter, @TheVoiceBTV, Facebook, facebook.com/TheVoiceBTV, and you can always email me, thevoicebtv btv@gmail.com. All right, let's get to it. Episode number 159 with Tom McGinnis of the Philadelphia 76ers. JW, you ready for your sixth season? Roll the open.
We went to this restaurant called Henrice's, and it was like they had tuxedoed waiters and white tablecloths. And I walk in there, and it's all adults, and it's like a weekday, so it's not crowded, and everybody was well-heeled, but I felt like everybody was staring at me.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure they were in a compassionate way, not like, oh my God, look at this guy, And I sat down, and we ordered, and my eyes like welled up, and I'm like, I don't think I can do this.